Hi, it's Lipstck Gal. Thanks for watching today. And I wanted to do a whole video dedicated to my favorite red lipsticks. Before I get started, let me just say thank you for watching. If you aren't already subscribed, would you please subscribe? And let me know if you're one of the people in the comment section down below. Do you wear red lipstick? Or you're like, no, never, it's not me. And let me know why. Now, I'm one of those people that firmly believes there is a red lipstick for everybody. Whether it's formulation, whether it's shade, whatever, there is one for absolutely everyone. Now, I fell in love with red lipstick watching movies from the golden age of Hollywood, from like the 1930s on. And there were so many amazing movies that I used to watch. Even when they were in black and white, and you could see the really high contrast, like if it's a black and white film and the lips look really dark, they're wearing a red lipstick. So I would look at all of those beautiful black and white photos of old Hollywood starlets and be like, oh, I want to be just like that when I grow up. I mean, that's basically what I was as a kid. You know, the people that I was kind of like drooling over were not people in like the teen magazines of the time when I was growing up in the 80s. It was like, if I could find black and white photos from back in the day of like classic movie stars, that was like, yes, that made my heart go pitter pat. And I wanted to show you today a wide range of lipsticks and a wide range of finishes. And now these are not like the only 10 that I have. I will admit to having probably 3 to 4 times this many reds. And I love them all. But these are the ones that I reach for the most. I thought I'd show you applying them as well. The first one, I'm going to tell you about it while I put it on for you. This is YSL's Rouge Volupte Shine, and I don't have much left. That's all I have left. I've used like the whole stick. This is also my second one of these. I think by the end of summer I will have piled through this and I will want a new one. The shade has worn off the sticker at the bottom, so I'll have to leave that for you in the description box down below. But let's throw this on and then we'll chat. So it's really easy to apply. This is one of those lipsticks, I think of this as like a no fuss red. It's sheer, of course it's glossy, it's hydrating, it's the oil and stick formula, so it's not budge proof, obviously not. Most bullet lipsticks are not gonna have that indelibleness that you would get from a liquid lipstick. But what I love about this is the comfort on the lips. If I'm gonna wear a bold color like this, and as all traditional bullet lipsticks do, they fade. I like that this is going to fade naturally all over, and I'm not going to end up with a harsh line of dark around the edge of my lips and a bald patch in the center. This is really going to wear beautifully. It's also ridiculously hydrating and super comfortable on the lips. And in the middle of summer, when I'm wanting a more lighter, easier sort of approach to makeup, I wear this formula, but especially this shade, a lot. It's a more expensive brand, so you're going to pay more for this. The packaging is gorgeous, but I don't usually buy lipsticks for packaging. There might be a few exceptions. But for me, the packaging is a bonus because the product on the inside is so miraculously beautiful. The next one of these is basically like a drugstore superhero to me. This is the Petal Pout lip color from Flower Beauty, and the shade is Poppy Pout. It's a matte formula, and as you can see, it pulls a little more warm, a little more orange. Some people might call this a straight up orange lipstick. I think it walks the line between red and orange really well. So Poppy Pout is a matte formula. It feels comfortable on the lips. Most matte formulas from the drugstore can be either a little drying, sometimes more than a little drying. And I like that this still feels, even though you can feel it on your lips, you definitely feel a layer of this on your lips. It's not a really heavy layer. It's not a sticky layer. It feels comfortable. I don't feel like my lips have a tacky feeling to them, but there also is no shine. And this definitely is more on the orange side of red. It's a beautiful warm red, but I really think that if you have not tried this formula from Flower Beauty, it's worth a look. And I think that this color would suit a wide range of skin tones, from fair like myself all the way down to deeper skin tones, because it is such a universal shade. Now, if you tend to lean more towards cooler reds, this may not be your favorite, but I love a spicy red. And this, I think the formula is beautiful. It wears well. It also evenly wears off throughout the day. And I don't end up with bald spots like right in the center here. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, especially with the bold lip color. This doesn't do that to me, and I really, really love this formula. This is probably the red lipstick that I recommend the most, and it's from Clinique. This is the Clinique Pop in the shade Cherry Pop. This lipstick is a cream formula, so it's not matte, it's not glossy, it's somewhere in the middle. It does have a little bit of shine to it when you first put it on, but as you wear it within the first hour, a lot of that shine dies down. Let's throw it on. So what I love most about this lipstick, you can see that it does have a bit of a shine to it. That doesn't last for more than the first, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 minutes when you first put it on. But as you can see, it tends to run a little bit more on the pinky side of red. It has a little bit more of that maybe watermelon raspberry look to it, and less of a tomatoey or brick red look to it. The other thing that I love about this formula, the Clinique Pop formula, is that it has primer infused in it, so it lasts a little bit longer. And I'm sure you've picked up on the fact that I'm not throwing on a lip liner with any of these. I would have more defined lines, but I want you to see what the lipstick looks like just standing on its own 2 feet, not with the help of a lip liner, not with, and I usually just throw it on straight from the bullet. I do have a lip brush here if I need to like kind of define. The older I get, the less defined my lip lines are. But I do feel like reds go on great straight from the bullet. I know that can be a little intimidating, but if you can put on a nude lipstick from a bullet, you can put on a red lipstick from a bullet. But this one, it feels good on the lips. It's nourishing too. So when you wear it, it's not like wearing a balm, so it's greasy or like extra hydrating, but it doesn't strip your lips. And you definitely feel at the end of the day like you've had a protective layer on there, so you don't feel dried out. You don't feel sandpapery. That's the biggest beef I have with really dry formulas, whether it's matte, whether it's a liquid lip, whether it's a really oily but not hydrating gloss. Sometimes I feel like my lips start feeling dry and sandpapery. This is a really beautiful formula, and the primer in here does make it last that extra little bit. This next lipstick is one of my absolute favorite reds. It's from the company Besame. And it's funny because in Spanish that means kiss me. But these are lipsticks that come in traditionally shaped bullets in very traditionally retro packaging. And the creator of this makeup line actually purchased vintage lipsticks and recreated those shades in modern formulas. So this one here is in the shade Victory Red. This is a recreation of a 1941 red lipstick. Let's put it on and chat about it a bit. So the gold packaging with this dome top is very vintage in feel. I only ever use one side of the lipstick. I should start using the other side, but it's nice to be able to show you what they originally look like. You do see you get a very sharp edge, and these corners really do help you maneuver around the edges of your lips, and it's kind of like a built-in lip liner. Now that will wear down as you continue to use the lipstick, but since I've only used one side, I do feel like if I start in on the other side, I'll continue to build up those kind of corners again. 1941, middle of World War II, and it was really interesting because it was thought as a morale lifter for women to be wearing bold red lipstick. And I'm not sure if this is an actual reproduction of the red lipstick that the US government gave to the USO, girls, or to the women who would travel, the celebrities who would travel overseas. and do like shows for the soldiers? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. It's the formula itself is remarkably creamy. It is obviously a matte lipstick. It's not like an ultra matte. If you need to get down that little hint of shine that you see on first application, you give it a quick blot with a tissue or like a little bit of toilet paper. But what I love about this is it's not drying. It doesn't make my lips feel sandpapery. It is extremely long wearing, like remarkably long wearing. And on the Besame website, they say the best way to apply these is to apply a layer, blot it, and then apply another layer. And that really does kind of help build up the layers of lipstick, and you last all day. I've worn this for 8 hours straight without the need to reapply. It got a little thin in the middle from where I'd been drinking coffee or having a glass of water, but not to the point where you could see my actual bare lip. But I could tell that I had more hydration and moisturization towards the outer edges. But if you were looking at it, it didn't look like I was missing lipstick anywhere on my mouth. And that to me was like, wow, that says a lot about a lipstick, especially since it's not a liquid lipstick. Now, I am not a messy eater. I am not a lips licker. I am not one of those people who's constantly touching. So if I put on a lipstick, my hands are away from my face. I don't bite my lips. I don't lick my lips. I'm not going to wear it down. So it stays put for me really, really well. But what I love most about this is that whole retro vibe that you get with all Besame products. And they really started by creating just lipsticks, and they have a whole range of reds, like from really dark, vampy 1920 reds to a little bit more of like pinky reds. They've got a really beautiful orange red. They have a recreation of Marilyn Monroe's favorite red. This one here is, I watched so many like World War II movies as a kid growing up, like I mentioned before, that this red is kind of like the one that makes me go, oh, and it makes me think of my childhood for all of those black and white 1940s movies that I watched with, you know, soldiers in uniform. And anyway, so I love this red, but it has a really beautiful feel to it. It's extremely long wearing. And I know Besame just came out with a line of sheer lipstick within the last year, and I haven't tried it. But if you're looking for a drop dead gorgeous red, Besame, absolutely. I have been a longtime fan of the Bite Beauty lipsticks. This one here is in the shade Gazpacho, and this is from their Amuse Bouche line. I think what really is a standout product is it's extremely comfortable. It's a cream formula, but it does manage to really stay on your lips. So I'm going to throw this one on and we'll chat a bit. So as I was applying this lipstick, the one thing that I will tell you is out of all the lipsticks here, with the exception of the liquid formulas and the sheer formulas, this one is the most comfortable to apply. None of them are bad. They all feel really nice on the lips, but this one like glides in a way that I don't know that I had ever noticed before. I'm one of those people, now that I'm in my mid-40s, at 44, my lips need more hydration. They need things that make them look more attractive. Too many ultra mattes and really drying formulas don't play my lips up to their own natural advantage. I've lost some collagen in them, and I'm okay with what my lips look like. But when a lipstick makes them look and feel plump and juicy, hello. So this Amuse Bouche formula is really great. The one thing that I'll say about this is that this formula, it's more of a middle of the road red. Like some reds tend to be more blue or pink leaning, that cooler tone leaning. Some tend to be more orangey leaning. This one feels kind of like right smack dab down the middle. Really easy to reapply. This is also remarkably long wearing. This is one of those where put it on in the morning, reapply after lunch, and then you can make it all the way home at the end of your workday still wearing a really solidly good red lip. But because it does have a lot of hydrating properties to the formula, it is so comfortable to wear. I mean, it's just, it feels like butter on your lips. Not a bad way, not in a greasy way, but in a comforting and smooth and pillowy way. I really love this. And I think that they have a nice wide range of reds. They do have some more spicy tones, more orangey tones. They have some darker ones, some more vampy cherry tones. But I really love this one here in Gazpacho because it is a straight up neutral red and it's very, very comfortable. I know these are, what, $24, $26? Worth every penny, for sure. This next lipstick is from Lipstick Queen. This is what I would call one of my daily luxuries. This lipstick is $50. It's expensive, but it's one of those, I feel like if you really love lipstick, this is a formula you would like. I'm gonna throw it on and then we'll chat. So this lipstick has this really incredible magnetic closure to it. It also has really beautiful Art Deco packaging. This really harkens back to the really gorgeous, beautiful, heavy weighted packaging you would have found in the like 20s to 50s, 1920s to 1950s. And I love that. This is the most expensive line from Lipstick Queen. Lipstick Queen has a wide variety of lipsticks. This is their luxury line, the Velvet Rope line. And this shade, by the way, is called Black Tie. The reason I love this, first of all, it's the first matte that I remember finding where I didn't feel like my lips were turning to little raisins and prunes. I felt like creamy, comfortable, and it wore really, really well. I remember eating a burger in this once. You know how burgers can be juicy and fat, and when you wrap your mouth around it, you know, sometimes my lip folds under and I get a little bit of lipstick like right down in here. I don't know if you've ever eaten a sandwich that big. Guilty. I've done that before. But I put this on first thing in the morning, went to work at 8 o'clock, hit lunchtime, ate a burger, and I hadn't reapplied from when I first left the house. And I was expecting to have like red lipstick everywhere. No, it looked really good. It was bare in the middle where I'd eaten it off with my burger, but it didn't have it places where it shouldn't have been. And that was like, wow. I was very, very impressed. But I think that although this is an extremely expensive lipstick, and I don't know that any lipstick is worth that amount of money, but I think that if you tend to be a lipstick lover and a red lipstick lover, and you like it's got a gorgeous formula. It's one of the most comfortable matte formulas, if not the most comfortable matte formula I have ever tried. But I do feel like a lot of it, the value comes in the feeling that you're pulling out this really heavily weighted gold tubing with magnetic closure. It just feels luxe. It feels delicious, and I feel kind of a little bit like, as I put it on. And I think that's why I love this lipstick so, so much. This next lipstick is from Charlotte Tilbury. I have a huge love affair with Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. My favorite formula that she makes is her Matte Revolution. So she has a cream formula, her matte formula I love because it tends to be comfortable and matte and long wearing for a traditional bullet lipstick without making my lips feel dry and dried down like I left them in the middle of the Sahara Desert. This one is in the shade Tell Laura. It's one of the Hot Lips lipstick. So this was created for a celebrity. Put it on, I'll be right back. Now I know you're looking at me and going, oh, that is not a red lipstick. It's more of an orange lipstick. But I had so many reds that when I discovered this formula, I didn't want to cave into my natural. Some people buy like a ton of nudes and they all look the same. I'm the one that buys a ton of reds and they all look the same. But I love the formula so much that I wanted a bright pop of color. And there is one in red called Karina's Red. I think that's what it is. But it's a beautiful, beautiful red in this matte formula. Absolutely remarkable. So I would say these two here win it for being matte, for lasting for a long time, but not drying your lips out. These are probably the two that do the best at that are traditional matte formulas. This next lipstick is from a brand we've already mentioned. This is from Lipstick Queen. This is the shade Medieval. That's all I have left. This is probably, I don't know, maybe my third or fourth tube of this. I already have a backup of this. I cannot imagine a day comes that I don't want to wear this shade. This is one that I almost never use a mirror for. It's full of vitamin E, so I kind of use it kind of like a lip balm or a chapstick. It's great. All right, so it looks a little bit more intimidating here in the bullet, but as you put it on, it's glossy, it's hydrating. It's the easiest red. It's also, since it's so sheer, it's like your lips but better. I remember reading an article once, and a beauty editor was talking about products they had finished, and they like, so many things come across my desk. Like, I make a list of the things that I actually finished because they were that good. This lipstick was on there, and the way she described it was kind of like if you're looking at those old paintings, like those Renaissance paintings with cherubs in them, just like they look like the sorts of kisses that a cherub would leave on you. Pretty and rosy, but not too much, just that barely little hint of like cherub lips. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what this feels like. So for me, because I use it like a chapstick, I leave this in my purse, and this is what I wear when I need a little color, but not too much. It's full of vitamin E. I think I've already mentioned that, but it basically feels like the best lip balm, and you can reapply it and reapply it and reapply it, and you never get too much red. This is one of the most comforting lipsticks. I don't even know that it feels more like a lip treatment really, but it is a lipstick that I own, and that's why I've had so many, and I already have a backup because I don't want to be without it. I've had a tube of this in my purse for the last decade. I mean, this is the repurchase red, and I love it because my mom, who is Mexican and has a darker complexion than me, she wears it and it's beautiful. I've got very fair complexion. I've got friends of all different skin tones, and I've gifted this to so many people, like, oh, I don't wear red lipstick. Like, just try it. And they're like, this isn't really red. It is red, but it's more like maybe your best red. Especially, it's a great way to ease into red lipstick if you're not a red lipstick wearer. Probably my most repurchased lipstick ever, and definitely a favorite. So the last two lipsticks that I have both tend to be liquids. This is one of my favorites. It's from YSL. This is their Tatouage Couture Stain. This is in the shade number 10. I think that's Carmine Statement. I'll make sure and leave it for you down below, but it's like, I think that's what it's called, because on the bottom all it has is the number, and I'm like, can't you put the name on there for me, please? All right. So what I love most about this is this square applicator. This is not the first time I've talked about how much I love this applicator and how easy it makes it for me. I'm seeing a trend now with all of the lipsticks that have more of these corners. It's like perfect lined lips every single time. I feel like this little angled tip here gives me the most perfectly lined lips. I also feel like it does have a little bit of that velvet fuzz on this applicator, but on the back side, it's almost as if there's a little well that holds the product for you. So every time you put it in and take it out, I feel like I have just enough to coat one lip in and then do the other. So bottom first or top, however you want to do it. I feel like it would be kind of a stretch with just in and out once to be able to do both the top and the bottom. I've done it before, but with the red, I want to get a really good coating. All right, so this is one of those that feels very lightweight. On the lips, it's not drying. Now, if you wear it all day without touching it up, your lips do feel dry at the end of the day. It's the least drying liquid lipstick that I have, but what I love about it is it also leaves a stain behind. Now, some people hate lipsticks that stain. I have a love-hate relationship. I want it to be very similar to the color that I put on, because if I put on a deep, dark, like a cherry, not even a cherry, like a deep, dark burgundy red, and then it starts to fade down to like a hot pink in the middle, I am not okay with that. This one really does tend to look very red-like underneath. When you take it off at the end of the day, you do have kind of like that hot pink stain on your lips, but I don't feel like you see that as it starts to wear off during the day. The other thing that I like about this, I've had so many different liquid lipsticks in the past that I've tried. If you start to lose something in the center, there is no Other formulas don't always let you just reapply without it getting bunchy and gummy and maybe crumbling. This one you can reapply right over the top without having to remove it, like the whole thing, and start from scratch again. You can just put it on where you need it, and I love that about this formula. It is more expensive. It is a luxury brand, but I feel like they've really perfected this. Now, this is not one of those indelible lipsticks, like once it's dry, it's never going to transfer. You do get a little bit of transfer, but I feel like once you go through and have your morning cup of coffee with this lipstick, or you drink from your water bottle with this lipstick, what's going to come off will have come off, and there's minimal transfer throughout the rest of the day. I feel like once you get that top layer off, if you let it dry and you haven't had anything to sit for like 2 hours, you can take a sip from your coffee cup and you won't see anything on there. But I think I'm willing to trade off just a hint of transfer. I don't feel like this bleeds anywhere. I don't end up, since I do have some deeper lines in my lips, especially down right here through the bottom. Some lipsticks, if they're too creamy or they're not a little bit more stay put, I do find like feathering happening right down in here. That doesn't happen with this. And I know that when you're wearing a liquid lip, especially a red, you want it because you know it's going to stay in place. I feel like this stays in place like I want it to. None of the ones that I'm talking to you about so far really have that ability to kind of all over your face. But this formula is really, really fantastic. My last favorite is from Lancome. This is one of their L'Absolu Lacquer glosses. This is a little more high maintenance. Not gonna lie to you. This is one of those, it's a gloss, but it's also a stain. You see how I have a little bit of that kind of hot pink going on my lips here? I'm gonna put this on and I'll be right back. See how glossy this is? Love this. So this is one of those. There are two L'Absolu glosses from Lancome. This one is the lacquer gloss and the other one is just the plain gloss. But what's interesting about this formula, it's high maintenance, I will tell you that. On days that I'm wearing this, I don't wear this on a windy day. Because you know when you get your hair stuck in lip gloss and you have to do this, this does leave that bright stain behind on your lips when it starts to wear off. And so if you get your hair stuck in it and it starts to trail off as you pull it and it trails across your face, and clean it up quick. You don't want those little pink stains on your face. This is, by the way, I haven't told you the shade as I drop it. It's shade 168. Here's what I love about this. As you first put it on, it feels very cooling and very much like a layer of water on your lips. It doesn't really feel like much more than that. But it also has a really intense glossiness to it, the shine that I just love. It really makes my lips look juicy and plump, and I love that about this. This is not a plumping gloss, but just the shine factor is what does it for me. But this does need to be reapplied because it is a gloss. But I love that this really does stay put. Remember I told you, older lips, less collagen, a few more lines. I never find this like in the places I don't want it. I don't find it kind of bleeding down or feathering out to edges like outside of my lip line. I don't find that this does this. If you have that problem, let me know because I don't. And I bought a really bright, it's one of the brightest colors they make in this line. But the formulation is really interesting. It feels like water going on. It feels really glossy. And as it wears down even all over. And there is a stain that's left behind with this. So since it is more on that kind of raspberry watermelon-y edge of things, a little bit more of that pinky red, since you have that pink stain left behind on your lips, I feel like it works. And this is one, even though it's a liquid formula, you can easily reapply. It's really opaque, and I don't feel like you end up with a sticky or bunchy or gloppy, because you can't always reapply liquid anything over it. I mean, gloss, you can put gloss over the top of itself, but if you put too much, it gets gooey. I don't ever feel like this gets gooey. Like it starts to stick together and you get that, and you feel like you can't pull your lips apart. So it's a really elegant gloss formula. And I love that it's fully opaque when you put this on. But she's high maintenance. Be warned. But I'm willing to deal with the high maintenance aspect of it. I'll put my hair in a ponytail. I'll make sure it's not close to my face. So if it's a windy day, I mean, I do whatever I can. When I'm wearing this, I start planning how I'm gonna wear my hair. Or I don't wear it on a day where it's windy. But it really is a gorgeous, gorgeous gloss. The formula is unique. It's comfortable. It's hydrating. It looks juicy and shiny. And there are very few red glosses that I wear with this opacity to it without it kind of going everywhere and getting messy. This one doesn't do that, and for me that makes it like a home run in my book. Thank you so much for watching my favorite red lipstick. I did a video like this, many years ago. I'm not gonna link it. If you wanna look for it, you can dig for it. But I feel like there are some here that I still have that are still long-term favorites. And I know that when I've had specific reds that I reach for and I recommend to friends, or if you're, what red would you recommend for me? What formula would you recommend for me? I would recommend all of these formulas and especially all of these shades. And then it's you picking and choosing, do I want a more sheer red? Do I want a matte red? Do I want a glossy red? Do I want, you see my point. But I do firmly believe that anybody at all can wear a red lipstick. I think it really does comes down to, do you wear it with conviction or apologetically? And I think that bolder lipstick colors require that full 100% commitment. I'm committed, I'm convicted, this is a great color on me. And if you ever end up with lipstick on your teeth, a good friend will tell you. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.